one day more. Another day, another destiny. This never-ending road to Calvary. These men who seem to know my crime may surely come a second time one day more.
I did not live until today. How can I live when we are parted?
One day more.
Tomorrow you'll be worlds away, and yet with you my world has started.
One more day all on my own.
Will we ever meet again?
One more day with him not caring.
I was born to be with you.
What a life life might have known.
And I swear I will be true.
But he never saw me
One more day before the storm.
Do I follow where she goes?
At the barricade of freedom.
Shall I join my brothers there?
When our ranks begin to fall.
Do I stay and do I dare?
Will you take your place with me? One day more.
One more day to revolutions. Well, we'll nip it in the bud. We'll be ready for the schoolboys. They will wear themselves
One
with
day
pride.
Watch them run amok, catch them when they fall. Never know your luck and there's a freedom for all. Here's a little dip, there's a little touch. Most of them are gonna show they won't miss much. Only to a new beginning. Raise the flag of freedom high. Every man will be a king. Every man will be a king. There's a new world for the winning.
There's a new world to be won. Do you hear the people sing?
My place is here. I fight with you.
One day more.
Join this people's heroes. I will follow where they go. I will learn their little secrets. I will know the things they know. One more day to revolutions. Well, we'll nip it in the bud. We'll be ready for this moment. Tomorrow is the judgment day. Tomorrow
We'll discover what our God in heaven has in store. One more dawn, one more day, one day
Well, thank you so much, pianist Claire Mo Shang. Thank you so much, conductor Dong Quang Vinh, and all of the choristers for bringing such a great vibe of a classical masterpiece to the audience of Talk Vietnam. And to all the audience of Talk Vietnam, may I have the honor and privilege to introduce the guests of today's show.
Hanoi Voices, an international choir established in 2016. Members are of different ages, characters, and professions. They came here from around the world, but they share a passion. Rehearsing together,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hit!
standing on the stage together. Sharing happiness in a place they have always loved.
tôi yêu Hà Nội. Đến Hanoi.
하노이가 大好きです. I love Hanoi.
Actually from Hanoi.
We love Hanoi!
For First of all, thank you very much for joining Talk Vietnam today. It was a great performance that you gave us at the beginning, and I want to ask you a question about that. It's an extract from a very famous French musical, and it was such a success. All of the tickets were sold out before the premiere, right? It required a lot of efforts from many people to set up this show and make it.
Exactly. Backstage and on stage, a lot of people have worked on this show, and I'm personally glad, but I think we're all glad here that all those people have worked towards this main goal.
I want to hear the perspective from these two ladies.
Oh, I was really excited to know that so many people were coming to see us, and they were really excited to see us. So I think already we knew that there would be a good feeling in the audience. So when we were going on stage, I mean, we wanted to try our best, but we knew people were ready to hear us and ready to see us. So it was really exciting to know that so many people had already bought tickets.
What about you, Sarah?
I mean, this show is known around the world, and I'm actually one of the newer members in the choir, but when I was auditioning a few months ago, and I was told, have you heard of the musical Les Mis? That's the one we're working on, and from the beginning, it was amazing to think that, to be a part of that, and then to bring that to Vietnam, and I think feeling that connection with the audience at those final performances, and to be in that space in the Opera House, it was just like a connection with the energy, and it seems like it's the word is spread around the community now here in Hanoi. I think all of us have experienced meeting people, and they find out and they'll say, wait, you were in Les Mis, and...
What part did you play?
Well, I was in the chorus, and I was one of the kind of peasants, I would say, and then I also had kind of a role as a wealthy person that sadly was scorning the beggars, so I'm still sorry for that. But yeah, I think it's just a show that's brought so much joy to people, and to be able to perform it in a year when a lot of live stage shows can't happen, it's been amazing.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a very good point that you have pointed out, that right now with COVID-19, but we can still pull a show right now in Hanoi. That's quite unique.
I have to say, I was really proud of being on that stage, especially at the end when we all do the sign at the end and the show stops, the music stops, and all the people are applauding. And yes, pride, definitely pride to be there and to be able to perform a French musical, even if it's in English. We don't care. Pride is something quite important.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the end of November 2020, Vietnam National Opera and Ballet debuted the musical Les Misérables, an adaptation of Victor Hugo's historical novel of the same name. All 4 shows were sold out before the debut. Les Mis was performed in such a unique and innovative way and introduced Broadway theatre art to Hanoi. 40 members of Hanoi Voices joined this massive theatrical work that required a perfect combination of singing, dancing and acting.
Đối với tôi, Hanoi Voices có thể tham gia bởi vì khi họ bật ra các cái tính các nhân vật nó rất tự nhiên, và điều đấy cũng là một cái điểm nhấn rất lớn đối với cả cái vở Những Người Khốn Khổ này, là có cái tính quốc tế và những người bạn quốc tế của mình luôn ở bên cạnh mình.
To prepare for Les Mis, Hanoi Voices members worked hard alongside VNOB artists for half a year.
The Ving expects high quality. I have never done musical theater before. So learning the words, but then you have to learn how to act, then you have to learn how to dance, and then you have to do all 3 at the same time.
So it's a lot of work, but I'm very pleased.
But more importantly,
and we are all united with music, in fact.
It's truly a joy. Working in a musical like Les Mis keeps you young, engaged, positive, and supportive of other people.
Thật sự rất trân trọng. Hanoi Voices là cái tinh thần chuyên nghiệp của các bạn đến rất đúng giờ, vì các bạn ý không phải là diễn viên chuyên nghiệp nhưng mà cái cách làm việc thì lại hơn cả diễn viên chuyên nghiệp. Rào cản ngôn ngữ là cái lớn nhất. Tuy nhiên chúng ta vẫn may mắn là có được cái đam mê của cả hai. Nó giữ lại, nó kéo lại và mọi người được truyền lửa cho đến tận bây giờ.
After months of practicing tirelessly and enthusiastically, Les Mis musical finally went on stage at the end of November 2020.
I thought it was excellent. I've seen the play before in the United States, and I thought this was very good. This is a wonderful production, and I'm really blown away.
Cảm xúc này là rất là xúc động khi mà lại được nghe lại những cái bài hát quen thuộc và những cái bài hát là rất là được yêu mến. Từ dàn nhạc cho đến các diễn viên đều đã cố gắng hết sức và đã làm rất tròn vai và đã thực sự là đã thành công để mang cái gọi là âm nhạc hàn lâm của thế giới đến cho khán giả Việt Nam.
So can you share with us a little bit about what make a good choir?
It's different for choirs, you know. For our choir, we try, of course, firstly we have a target to do its quality. Then, of course, you have to sing well. You have to know the knowledge of music, music theory, harmony, many things about music. You need to have the ability of listening to each other. Generally, you need to do very well teamwork. Yeah, it's different from singing as a diva, as a soloist, and singing in a choir, in a community. You need to sing together. You need to speak together. You need to breathe together. So you really need to have not only know about yourself, but also we have to think about others as well. And you need to have events with this. Yeah, you not only practice, but you also need more chances to sing, to bring your music, to share it with other people. So we try our best to make good quality. We try our best to do teamwork, and when we try our best to make more chances and opportunities to members to sing.
Right. But your choir is very special because it is people from so many different countries speaking different languages. So how did you kind of help them pull out the common thing and help them to sing the same and in harmony with each other?
Oh, very good question. Thank you. I'm lucky because, you know, they all have very good music backgrounds, and because we had also very strict auditions for members who would like to join. So, you know, with different backgrounds, different nationalities, different ages, but with good music education. That is good, you know, because we not only need people to sing together, but also we need characters from different people. We need stories from them.
What do you mean characters here?
You know, for example, you see One Day More. You have different characters. You have Valjean, you have Javert, you have Marius, you have, many. So each of them need to know the story, and also they will mix their character in it. It will be a combination of the story and themselves. So it will make any show alive. And I'm very happy, and we always want to know more about any members in here. So we try our best to do as many genres as we can. Not only classical, not only Vietnamese music, but also music from all around the world.
So now let's go back to the mission of Hanoi Voices. So when you first started it, did you have a goal, a mission, and how did you follow that goal and mission till today?
You know, I still think that I'm very lucky, and I really enjoy and I respect it My mission for myself is to bring not only Vietnamese music. I'm a Vietnamese, and I want to bring Vietnamese music to as many people, many audience as possible. But also, classical music or pop music is something that all around the world people are playing, and it's also the common language for people to say. So to sing and to enjoy. So my mission is, and our mission too, to bring music to as many audiences as possible.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting discussion, but I guess now the audience are really excited to listen to a song that you guys will have performed here on stage. So please.
Tell me all about this day that is difficult to say. It was given me the day I was born. Want to know about the story of the empire of old. My eyes say more of me than what you dare to say.
All I know of you is the signs of war. What I'm feeling by Coca-Cola, the helicopters roar. One day I'll touch your soul. One day I'll finally know your soul. One day I'll come to you to say hello. Say hello, Vietnam. Bạn hãy nói cho tôi biết chăng về hậu tên mà tôi đã mang, về bên quê mà tôi ngày đêm luôn nhớ mong.
Lòng tôi mong biết đất nước tôi, đất nước đã có bao đời, được nhìn bằng đôi mắt của mình, được trở về cội nguồn.
Và qua phim Coca-Cola làm tay gió thôn về hồ, và lấy chân thang mây trên cao tàn phá sông thôn nhiều bên ước mơ về thăm chốn biển. Mong sao về cuộc thật thay đổi, mong có lên ngày trở về lòng tôi yêu em Việt Nam. Hey, so, 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 hey, so.
One day I'll touch your soul. One day I finally know your soul. One day I'll come to you to say hello, Vietnam.
Ước mong về thăm chốn thiên, mong sao về cuộc thật thay đổi, mong có lên ngày trở về lòng tôi yêu em Việt Nam.
To say xin chào Việt Nam.
To say hello, Việt Nam.
Well, thank you all for that wonderful performance.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
So how hard is it to practice singing in Vietnamese?
I think one of the aspects of learning Vietnamese in terms of speaking, the difficult aspect is the tones, but I do think in music it's kind of almost built in that maybe the melody coincides with some of the tones. I could be wrong with this, but you know, it's a more melodic way to kind of sometimes sing a more legato line and express the pronunciation. So I do find it actually, yeah, helps me get more interested and have a chance to practice it. Yeah.
I would say it's difficult. Let's face it, it's difficult. But it's, for me, it's so important. We're in Vietnam. I can't think of being in a choir and not singing in Vietnamese.
Yeah.
Maybe not everything in Vietnamese, but at least some numbers. Because, as Vin said, it's part of the choir's goal to bring music to everybody. And in Vietnam, people are waiting for us to sing in Vietnamese too. So that's important. That's really important.
So how do you feel when you perform in front of hundreds of audiences?
I think the thing about the beauty of music is that it's universal, and despite our different traditions or, you know, wherever we come from, just having that kind of exchange, and even when people might not understand exactly the words that are being communicated, you can feel the spirit of the music. And I think at the conclusion, I think of the conclusion of Les Mis in particular, when as the choir we were actually standing out among the audience, and that was such a special moment, I think, for a lot of us, because, you know, I would say there was a good mixture in the audience of foreigners and Vietnamese, but perhaps a good majority were people from Vietnam, and just having that connection with the audience members and seeing kind of the light in their eyes and the smile on their faces as we brought that message, and you could just feel the joy that was shared in that room. So I do think that's a shared joy.
That's beautiful. So Cyril, can you share with us some interesting moments of vocal training? Because you are in charge of it.
Yes, I'm in charge of vocal training. And I have to say it's difficult. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. What I'm doing every Mondays, because we meet on Mondays, is the warm-up before Vins arrive to make us sing. And it's always a very important moment for everybody.
So
and
the warm-up.
The warm-up moment. For the voice, obviously, otherwise it's difficult to sing. But also for the community that we have formed. Because that's this specific moment that we are back together for one same goal, to sing. And I think this warm-up is very important. And if you skip it, you miss the chance to put people together. And that's in a way challenging, because if the warm-up is not correctly done, the conductor after that might have a bit of problem to bring people together.
He would not be happy with you.
Cyril is really helpful to Hanoi Voices. You know, I get very relaxed when I start working with a choir, because their voice is ready, and a lot of things he already covered, and he helped a lot. So really appreciate it.
What's the most challenging musical work that you've ever participated in?
I think there's plenty. I definitely think that each concert is a challenge, because that particular piece brings something different from the others. And but of course, Beethoven, Les Mis, obviously, they are a big challenge, especially when you mix singing, acting, and dancing.
Right. Yeah. So you have multi-talents too.
We try.
I think sometimes singing in different venues is hard. For example, we found singing in the church quite difficult because of the acoustics and things like that. So there's those challenges as well.
So far, Hanoi Voices has had 40 members from many countries such as Vietnam, Japan, South Africa, Australia, France, Scotland, US, etc. They have different jobs and characters and unique reasons for joining Hanoi Voices.
I am Pippa Wood from Australia. I work coordinating activities for UNIS Hanoi families. I am often on the computer, researching, making bookings and arrangements. It takes a lot of time as there are a lot of activities to arrange.
Looking forward to seeing you there.
So sometimes I feel a bit stressed. I joined Hanoi Voices because I find singing gives me a different focus from my other activities. Singing with Hanoi Voices adds balance and joy to my life. Singing helps me to calm down and relax.
Pippa Wood found joy and balance from Hanoi Voices, so what about other members? After 9 years living and working in Vietnam, Masao Tezuka loves Hanoi because his wife loved the city too, and it's where he can find peace and warmth. He loved singing, but has never been on a professional stage until he wants to realize his wife's will.
My wife, she was suffering from the lung cancer. She passed away last August, and I feel very sad. I want to find a way to recover that situation. My wife, she really like to hear that we sing. Why don't you try to enter Hanoi Voices? Did my best to catch up with the other choir members and to sing together. So that was very good experience. And when I sing in the concert, that was really emotional. Maybe that my wife tried to lead me here on my Voices. Love this choir, and I feel like when I practice together, I feel like a big family.
You know, even though there were all of these people from all over the world, all different backgrounds, all different languages, countries, cultures, we all have this love for music and for singing. And so that was really exciting to walk into and to be a part of.
Well, in Hanoi Voices, it's always a pleasure to come because we share all those experiences, really having fun.
What can you say about the connections that you formed in Hanoi Voices? Because you're all working in different sectors, right?
I think, yeah, I mean, it's been one of the most special parts, I think, of being in this choir is just the people and the community. And I mean, I say that with a really genuine sincerity. I think 2020 in particular has been a difficult year around the world for many, and a lot of people living in separation from families, borders closed, and to have a sense of shared community here with this choir. And in this year in particular, I think to be able to come together, to be able to share our love for something, but most of all, you know, I feel like we really are there for each other, and there's a real compassion for one another. And it's more than just sharing our music. It is lifting one another up and being there through all those moments and ups and downs that we all face. So I think it's a special group of people who have come together.
Yeah.
And I also enjoy very much the fact that the connection is between people from around the world.
Yes.
And that's something very important because that brings different backgrounds, that brings different life together. And I think that's a very good way to open the minds of people. Our minds first, and the mind of the audience, saying we can actually perform together. We are all together in this, especially in the COVID situation. We are all together in this, and we can do that.
Now I want to ask Cyril, Pippa, and Sarah, what brought you to Hanoi Voices?
Well, for me, actually, because I'm one of the newer members, and Previous to living in Vietnam, I had lived in Indonesia for 7 years, and I don't think we had opportunities like this there. And so when I moved to Hanoi a few years ago, I kind of assumed there wasn't anything like this. I grew up singing in choir and did that pretty much my whole life until through university. And I think I was just having kind of a conversation with a work colleague last year, and we were talking about music, and I just said, I really miss singing in choir. I wish there was something like that here. And fortunately, she spoke up, and she's actually in the choir now, Vilmi, and she said, oh, don't you know there's a choir called Hanoi Voices? And from that point, I thought, wow, I mean, this seems like an amazing opportunity. And so this year, when I finally was able to join, I mean, it was just such a joy for me to have the opportunity to return back to something that was kind of an original passion of mine.
What about you, Pipa?
Oh, well, I've been here for 13 years now, and when I came, my children were very small because I'm a mum of 4 boys. And so at first I was a mum and being busy at home, and then as my children got a little bit older, I was able to think, how else could I spend my time? And a bit like Sarah, I really wanted to go back and do my passion, which was always singing, and I love singing with groups. I love the feeling of our harmonies blending.
Now I want to ask 3 of you, looking back at your journey of joining Hanoi Voices, what make you feel most proud of?
I would say growing inside the choir, because when you enter the choir, you're a beginner again. Even if you have sung during 25 years, when you enter a new choir, you're a beginner again because you don't know the people, you don't know the director, you don't know how he will conduct, how the music will be. You don't necessarily know all the programs that have been done already. So it's kind of new for everybody who join a choir, and then you grow together with the others until the end, until you quit the choir if you were foreigner and then you have to go back to your country, or until you leave because you want to do something else. But you grow inside of the choir, and that's very important. And I'm kind of proud of that, yeah.
Right. Pipa?
I think for me, I can think of one really personal moment, and that was, I think, represented the teamwork and the way that our choir has grown together as a team. There was a moment in a Les Mis performance when we had to do something that we hadn't rehearsed, but we all watched each other and did it perfectly correctly. And for me, that moment really indicated how much of a team that we had become, that nobody would do anything by themselves, that we all just waited and kept an eye on each other and worked as one body. And it just, that one small thing indicated to me how we'd become so synchronous together. We were so synchronized now, and so used to working off each other and listening and being sensitive to what the person next to us was doing. So that really meant a lot to me.
Yeah. You know, Hanoi's always had kind of a special place in my heart. It was actually the first city that I went to overseas after university, and then coming back here to live and having gone to several shows at the Opera House over the year, and always loving that space and loving watching the performers, but never did I ever dream that I would have the chance to perform in that space and with these opportunities that we've had, and to get back to acting, singing, and all the different genres, and to keep growing and expanding. And each time I keep getting surprised to the new opportunities we have, you know, and we're even here today to be able to talk with you. So it keeps surprising me, and it's just a really wonderful group of people to get to continue experiencing these opportunities with.
Mm-hmm. So are there any memory that you have with Hanoi Voices that you will never forget?
I think being really cold, singing at a Tet concert.
Where was that?
Now that was it was one of the big agricultural buildings, maybe in Zangbo, something like that. I'm not quite sure, but we'd been invited to sing some special music. I think one of the songs Ving had written, actually. And we were wearing our eyes, and it was raining, and it was cold. And still we stood up and sang for everybody. So I think that sticks.
Right,
that we suffered for our art.
Yes.
But I mean, it was very uncomfortable at the time, but I can remember it now as as quite something.
Mm-hmm. So with that, what future plans will hold for Hanoi Voices?
Ballet?
Yeah, good question. Yes, next year will be our 5th anniversary. So for sure, we'll have a concert that will include many pieces and music we have sung, we have performed in the past, and we'll also have guest ensembles or guest choirs or singers singing with us. So this is for sure what we will do. And I believe that we'll have more jobs on the musical, not only Les Mis, But in here, Hanoi audience are, they're expecting more things from us with some musical or some operas. So we'll be working out on this one. And of course, still we have something to do with traditional music. I hope to arrange more folk songs for them to sing about Vietnam, sing about Hanoi.
Right. Yeah. And here's the last question. So do you have any message to convey to people, to our audience out there about Hanoi Voices? And maybe if they want to join, then do you have any advice?
Oh, if they want to join, they have to call me.
Yes.
And ask you out for dinner.
No.
But don't be afraid to reach out. Maybe I think as Ving and the others have mentioned, this choir's been transforming. It sounds like over the years, and when things reopen, people come, they go, and so I think if people have missed singing in a group, especially whether they're Vietnamese or if they've been living as an expat overseas and they've missed that chance to sing in a choir again, I can say, this is a great place to.
And I'd say, please keep coming to our concerts. Please keep coming to see us. Stay after and have a chat with us. We'd love to meet you. Take some photos with you. Hear how whatever you thought about our concert. So please look out for what we're doing, and we'd love to see you there.
And what is the message that Hanoi Voices want to convey to the audiences who listen to your music?
So for me, I want to say for them, and you guys can add in as well, please. So still with the name Hanoi Voices, we want to bring more of our music and the world's music, international music, to more audiences in Hanoi. And please enjoy music, because music has no border. You can see that we have different nationalities here. Of course, we speak English, but sometimes we don't have to speak. Just music speaks. So you will enjoy music and you will love each other. You forget all about sorrows, about your sadness, and you will be just bringing joy to more and more people.
Right. Yeah. So once again, thank you so much for joining Talk Vietnam. Through your beautiful stories, we've learned a lot about choirs and music and Vietnamese music in general, and I hope that the audience out there also feel the same. We wish you all the best for the future plan of Hanoi Voices, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And that's it for this edition of Talk Vietnam. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.